Okay, so we've been on this show now for the best part of 6-7 months. We've had a dozen or so interviews with Finnish leaders, and we've got good news. We've got more leaders signed up to talk with us. But as a team, we've been thinking about the format that we've got, and there's one or two angles that we'd like to explore more, where I think it might be better for us to get a good, different perspective. So, with our fabulous team member, Kelly Kidara. Hey,
hello, hello.
Hey. We're going to start having interviews with what we call game changers. So game changers are people that are in the leadership space, whether they're coaches or consultants or advisors, who work with leaders in Finland to try to help them improve. We'll be covering topics like sustainability, like defining your purpose, like dealing with data. And our aim from these episodes is to really kind of like open up another dimension to Finnish leadership. Kelly, are you excited about?
I am super excited. And what I'm most excited about is that these game changers, they are here to shake things up. They are here to think outside of the box, and they are here to inspire you to do things that are not conventional. So that's what I'm looking most forward to.
Yeah, me too. I think we've got a little bit of a responsibility to talk with leaders, to talk to leaders, but also to help them open up where they could make their own improvements. So for some of the episodes coming up, it'll be me and Kelly and a special guest, and we hope you enjoy it. Now, when we sat down to think about, okay, who do we get in who's a real game changer? First person that I thought about is here with us today. Satu, how are you doing?
Hi, nice to be here today. Fantastic. What an introduction. Wow.
You're absolutely welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. I have returned from Stockholm yesterday, and now I'm seeing different things from different perspectives. So it would be fantastic to talk about these perspectives with you. Sometimes you need to go somewhere else to be able to see better, you know?
Go a little bit outside to look back in.
Yes.
Yeah, deep. You guys, that's really, we've gone deep really quick.
In.
Fantastic.
What was the biggest takeaway from your trip?
Melodiafestivalen, I'm sure.
I think the biggest thing is the human connection and how we connect with each other, how do we connect with ourselves, and how we connect with the world.
Okay.
Is it a little bit too big
No.
start with?
I think that's excellent.
I don't like surface level, so...
It's great. It connects to what you do. So maybe you can tell us more about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I call myself a climate quitter. So climate quitter means that I'm a person who thinks that if I am not able to reach my goals or fulfill my purpose in my current job, then I have no other alternative than to quit and find other ways, other places to do that. So I am not saying that everyone should be a climate quitter, but it's a trend. So it's happening, and I'm proudly carrying this title with me.
So whenever you take on like a new job, a new project, a new business, if you can't be sustainable or help others improve their impact on climate or on sustainability, you're at the door.
That sounds very radical. I would say that my process it's been taking like a long time. Of course, if there was a company that now that I'm out, I quit. So I started to actually see what is there, what kind of companies are there. Could I apply for a job in these companies? Definitely yes. But when you are in this mode, can I say this out loud, but in a hamster wheel. So it's difficult to see what is out there and what kind of opportunities you have. So sometimes you just have to jump out. It's the same as going to a different country and seeing how things really are in your current state or environment or business or with relationships and stuff like that. But I'm not saying everybody has to be a climate quitter. There are alternatives, but for me, it seemed that I wasn't able to think. And there's a strong connection with that I was saying about the connection with yourself and connection with others. So when you are not able to be in connection with yourself and authentic towards yourself fully, there are like, the
mismatched.
Yeah, there is like when there is contradiction, then you kind of need to calm things down, to take a pause, and then you can see things more clearly. For me, it took literally 6 months to be able to think clearly again. I'm not saying everybody is like me and everybody should follow the same path, but sometimes when you have tried several things, you have been looking for new jobs, and sometimes you just need that pause. And I can see that it's happening a lot right now.
Yeah, that's interesting, because something I noticed after COVID certainly was that before COVID, we had a relative amount of predictability in work. It wasn't exactly 9 to 5, but it wasn't far off that. But since COVID, you've got a lot of people that are up early, taking emails, on late calls, and are still working a general 9 to 5 in between. So it's a bit like the hamster wheel effect is a real thing, right? It's really like scary sometimes how you perceive the world and how much you think can't get done, just because you basically have no breaks in the day to give yourself that rest and that time.
Is it the hours, or is it the value? That's kind of anti-capitalist thinking here.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no way we're no more productive now than we were like pre-COVID, and everybody's working incessantly and a lot harder, right?
Oh my goodness, this resonates so much with me, and this may need to be edited, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I am in that hamster wheel, or I have been in that hamster wheel, and the company that I've been working for, I don't know if I want to say it out loud, beep, been there for about, a little under 2 years, and I have been feeling like there has been no purpose, or the purpose was not aligning with my values. So I actually left today.
Congratulations!
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's why you're shining.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Well, okay, Kelly, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks for that drop.
Thank
if you're
you.
listening to this, she probably did quit today. She's probably now amazingly happy and really relaxed and looking at the world from a different perspective.
Absolutely. Well, whatever happens in the future, I know that I need to just take a step back, step away from the bubble and the chaos to kind of really get back to my roots, my values, and see what I really appreciate, what I really want for my life, personally and professionally. So I'm with you.
Oh, amazing. Ooh, what a timing we have.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, we've heard from Kelly what it was like in her roles and in her experiences that shaped her. What about you and your background? What kind of work were you doing like earlier in your career? What are you doing these days? And I don't know, where did the passion for sustainability come from?
That's a very good question. Okay, so it's always difficult to find what's the starting point for this story. But I think it's good to start I'll actually start from my childhood. I already knew when I was a kid. I was probably 7 years or something like that. I knew that I had a drive. I had a purpose, but I didn't know. I was aware of that, but I didn't know like what does it really mean. Then I went to study business. I was working in recruitment. I was working in marketing in tech. I was leading a business program for refugees and immigrants, working in interior. But everything had to do with making an impact through my work. So it was later on I realized when I studied my master's in business and design in Sweden, I realized that actually everything was about problem solving, finding problems, finding the right questions to solve. Like, what are we talking about here? What is the problem really? Going to the root of the problem. And then the past years, I've been working in the IT industry, in consultancy, doing service design, strategic design, business design, and coaching. So, but I see that design not as we think of design as like
fashion or
industrial design. I think design as a mindset, as a method, a way of thinking, is actually something that everybody should be learning about, because it is a way to find your agency in this world. It's a way so that you can use your skills and talents to discover ways to make that impact. This is not light talk. This is serious talk. And I believe that when we're talking about, for example, about climate change, sustainability, then we need to talk about how is everyone contributing to this, the creation of our reality, of our future, of how we're living in this world. So basically, when I became a climate quitter, I also started, I didn't just leave and then just slept for 6 months, definitely not. I was very aware of that. Now I'm taking myself seriously. This is not a game where I'm here just what's the word? It's the non-playable character. No.
NPC, yeah.
I don't want to be that. I want to be the one who's playing my own character, and I want to show that others can also be those characters. And how? What's the recipe for doing that? So I started to pause, hear myself, hear my ideas, surround myself with the people who are inspiring, and challenge my thinking. Like, who am I? What's my identity? Where is my identity linked? Is it linked with Mercedes? No, it's not.
Do I want a car?
No, do I want a car? No. What is success to me? I think that's also a very important question, because you see people around you that are like, oh, super successful, living successful lives. But what is success really? And I was like, success to me is absolutely not having the best, newest phones and bags and cars and stuff like that. It's actually something deeper. It is the connection that I have with myself. It's the ability to live authentically, trust my intuition. Can we even say intuition out loud? Yes, we can. And it's just, alignment, basically.
Well, I mean, I think a big thing of this design element that you've got it's back a little bit to the hamster wheel, right? It's like kind of it's a way out of the hamster wheel to ask yourself, if I wanted a career, if I wanted to be the person that I want to be, who would I be? How would I do that? If I wanted the perfect job, how would I plan my job? What would my day look like? What would I be doing? How would I want to do it? And so few of us ever really take the time to sit down and ask that question.
Yes.
And if they told you in the interview, hey, your job is going to be talking with a bunch of people about the way it's been for like 30 years that you can never change, I don't think we'd take the job.
Yes. Yeah. I think one of the most important things that I realized, I thought I had a vision, but I realized that I actually had a vision for my business, but I didn't have a vision for myself. But how can you do anything if you don't see yourself aligned with your business? So my number one tip for any business, for any individual, about anything you do in this world is to have a vision. So the big picture, where are you going? How does it look like? And so often we think that the first thing that we think is the thing, but I think we need to go deeper. We need to go even higher, further, and then that's where the vision is. It can't be just, I'm just gonna do a little change in this world. No. Now we have to go bigger and bigger. And I think in Finland, the problem is that you can't say these things out loud. I want to have a Nobel Peace Prize because I made every job a climate job. And I'm now going to say it out loud.
Hell yes.
Yeah. I vote. You get my vote. Is it a vote? Do we vote?
So it's very important that you know the vision and then you know the steps there. And this is also about design. Like, what is the problem? Okay, what am I going to solve here? How does my life look like? How does the business look like? And then you start reflecting on that vision continuously. I've been able to use this. So I think we are not utilizing our imagination and our brain creativity at the level that we could. So we are a little bit numb in the head right now when we're in the hamster wheels. Can one say that?
Yeah, you can.
There's a huge potential. And the potential is nothing if you don't go there. So instead of thinking about risks, it doesn't cost anything to do these vision exercises. So also for anyone who's in between jobs or thinking of quitting their jobs, or if you're a boss, a leader, and you're like a little bit like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, you have to focus on a vision. Maybe the vision is very different from what you were thinking about earlier, but vision is super important.
On that same tone, I mean, I can say that I've spoken with like a number of C-level people, so CEOs and managing directors and really senior people. And CEOs often, we have this kind of like view that sort of capitalism is terrible and CEOs are like out just to optimize profits and blah, blah, blah. But most CEOs that I know, they talk about a lack of options. Like they don't have no one's coming to their desk saying, hey, have you thought about doing this portfolio like this way? And it means this much less profit, but it'll last longer, or we'll switch our carbon footprint, or we'll do this. There's very, very few proposals that actually kind of come out from a diverse perspective. And I also feel like it's kind of a strange thing at the minute because there's DEI messages are really strong and prevalent. Every company claims to be diverse. Every company claims to be sustainable. The comms piece on that is fantastic. But at the same time, even when there is what I'd say like a visible diversity, I'm not sure that we actually get a cognitive, like a thinking, like a portfolio, like that diversity that we have doesn't seem to give us different ways of doing business. We're still doing business the way we did it pretty much in the 90s, right?
Yes.
Preach.
Yes.
Preach. Sing it. Yeah.
So when we're talking about diversity, we are talking about polarity. So when we have tension between things, that's what diversity, that's why many companies are afraid of like, oh yeah, we will have people from different cultures, different backgrounds. That's scary because there is tension. But what is born out of tension is something new, right? Mm-hmm. That's also between, two people, something new borns out of that, whatever it might be. But it is so. And so if we are always thinking about risks, we are saying no to the opportunities. There's always a tension when you decide to go for something new. So I think leaders have to be more aware of their own insecurities and their own fears to be able to lead better. So if the standard is that, that's a risk and that's a little bit scary and we shouldn't go there because then we might lose something. Yeah, but at the same time, you're saying no to something new and something amazing, something regenerative. You're saying no to growth. So when we're talking about Finland, for example, 15 years, there hasn't been growth, economic growth.
Yeah.
Why? If we're continuously saying no to things, if we're only thinking about risks, how are we ever going to get there? We're not going to get there.
That's true.
And how do we say more yes? Is when we start to actually have fun when it doesn't have to be so serious. Like we're thinking that you have to do like fast experiments. And the same with sustainability, fast experiments.
Is that how? So when you sit down with leaders like these days and you talk about sustainability, is that how you work with them? How do you find leaders respond to your techniques, to your message, to your vision? Are they on board? Do they go with you?
The ones who are a little bit more mature with their like understanding of what sustainability really is, they are like, absolutely yes. But the ones who are still in the reporting, like, yeah, we're focusing on compliance, the reporting. Yeah, okay, it's an important part, yes, but that's reporting. That's the state as it is now. It's not going to change anything. Okay, it's good to understand, but where do we make the change? Where do we create change? We create change when we start to ask new kinds of questions. And this is also one important thing. Through design methods, having multidisciplinary teams, diverse teams, we can ask different kinds of questions. And this is what we need to be able to grow, to find new opportunities and test.
Yeah. There's, in most big companies, you've got like corporate social responsibility departments that are usually housed within finance or in operations. So they do actually, the CSR is all about reporting and compliance. And it's like the game is, the governments have said we have to report a bunch of numbers. How do we get up to those numbers? But actually, again, if you step back and try to design it, you'd be like, well, what if you use this department to invest in the future? What opportunities could we create? What new ways of working or ways of thinking could we create that would help us grow?
I think that here we're going to the fundamental question of leadership. What does it mean to be a leader versus a manager? Are you just managing? What is? I think there are so many managers, but so few leaders. Leading means that you're actually creating a pull towards a certain direction, right? So, yeah, we need to question, are you really a manager after all, or are you a leader? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to add on that?
No.
Otherwise, I'm going to jump to another topic because I've been following your LinkedIn post, and there's this one question that I'm really super curious about. I think it was your latest post. Could you explain what you mean with every job is 10 jobs? What is that all about?
Very good question.
Let me open that post.
It was so interesting, but I wanted to hear more of your insight.
People have actually been sharing it a lot.
Yeah, it's got some good traction. Yeah.
So, by saying that every job is 10 jobs, I'm going to the core question of what is a job really? Why do we work? Is it really about working or is it about something else? And I think now in this time, we cannot think a job as it was like 40 years ago, even 10 years ago. We are seeing that the world is changing and we are in a very bad situation right now. We have climate change. We have, the southern hemisphere is burning and
lots of uncertainty.
We have wars. So there's a lot of things happening. And now I think finally we're starting to realize that what we do here has an impact. For example, in Kenya, if I buy coffee, it's not a Finnish coffee. So it is produced, it's made in Kenya, for example. So what I choose today in my job, where I put my energy, where I put my effort, it has an impact in this world. And we're just being like, I'm just working and I need to pay my mortgage and then my kids need new clothes. This is how it's been, but it's not enough anymore. Now we have to understand that every job has an impact. And I think there should be an impact metrics of each of us, for example, Mark, how is your job? What's the impact of your job? Kelly, what's the impact of your job? So
Yeah, everything's got a footprint, right?
everything has a footprint and handprint. So it can be social, economical, environmental. All the impacts are there if we look deeper. So if we don't stop to think about these questions, this is the same in companies. So if the companies have sustainability strategies, most companies, not everyone, or not all the companies, but most, at least bigger companies, have their sustainability strategies, but they're so focused on the strategy and the fine words. But where is the action? So if we don't think of a sustainability strategy in a grassroots level, it's not going to happen. It's bullshit. It's just greenwashing. So most of the sustainability strategies are greenwashing today. This I would like to emphasize.
Yeah.
So every job is 10 jobs. Every job is a climate job, a sustainability job, human rights job, feminist job, equality job, inclusivity job, social justice job, diversity, accessibility, revolutionary job. So when we're talking about change, where does the change actually happen? It happens through our everyday lives. So I refuse to be working in a job just for the sake of working in a job. That's so old school.
So boring.
That should be illegal. And I hope to see that this kind of thinking that I'm just working here and then during my free time I'm doing fun things and then I'm doing some charity. No.
You know, it's really interesting. I'm trying to sort of think about it. If you go back like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, jobs traditionally were like, they always had an element, regardless of whether you were like making cars or an accountant or whatever, you had a kind of function in the society. Like there was you were doing a thing that was bringing everybody together. And I somehow feel like these days our jobs aren't giving us that reward back for contributing to the group. Our jobs are like, or most jobs are, I don't know, trying to sort of protect or instantiate the way things used to be done, which is not contributing to the growth of the community or the development of the people that we live with and work with and socialize with. It's sort of demanding that we take more time away from all that stuff. And if the way you describe, I only thought about that because when you described those 10 jobs, I was thinking if you lived your job like in that way, you would definitely be contributing. You'd be able to hold your head high whenever you went into town, whenever you went into the shops, whenever you went out to eat, and whenever you saw people. Because what I see these days is so many people that just they don't have pride in the things they do. They don't really. You ask them, hey, what do you do? And it takes them like 10 minutes to explain it, and you're like, phew.
And life is short and then you die, basically.
That's
it's
true.
as simple as that. So you can either just worked and then I had a holiday once a year. For 4 weeks I went to Crete and then there were bushfires and then and I continued my 9 till 5. Yeah. This is how it is.
I went to Tenerife. They all really complained because I was playing golf and using all their water.
Exactly. Golf is very bad, actually.
It is, but it's really bad for the environment.
It's very bad for the environment. So it's outdated. Yeah, but I wanted to tell you something that, Mark, you asked me, like, how did I get into sustainability? I wanted to share you one story that has to do with every job is 10 jobs and about the meaningfulness and the systemic perspective, how we should look at leadership and how we design products and services and businesses and teams. So I did my research in Zanzibar when I was doing my master's thesis. So I was in Zanzibar, which is an island in East Africa, in Tanzania. And I was there for like 2 months researching and doing a project about the waste management system on the island. It's a beautiful paradise island. The waste problem was huge. There were plastic bottles everywhere, metal cans, and the people were taking the trash at the center of the island and then burning it there. So I saw these. So then it just kind of disappeared. Or in some cases, people were taking the trash by the ocean. India, beautiful, the most beautiful Indian Ocean. And then, it disappeared because the waves took it. But then I realized I was really kind of researching whether these design methods could help solve systemic issues like waste problems. And then I realized that no, actually they can't, because we are so focused on humans and what humans want and what's the user, the consumer, what's good for the consumer. And so I think in everything now I'm preaching about, when I'm talking about design, I'm also talking about design as a way of looking beyond just humans. We need to see ourselves as part of the system. I don't know if this is a little bit outside what we were just talking about. I just wanted to share this.
It's good.
And I saw myself as a sustainability, my work as a sustainability job at the time already. This was 2012. We were collaborating with the local people, with the hotels, with United Nations. There was so many parties there. And so we were designing a system of how to do the recycling on the island. So I think this is an example of why, when we are now developing our businesses, we're developing our careers, you have to get some input from different industries. Yeah. So where does the creativity happen? Where's the innovation? It is when you play, when you have these dialogues with people from different backgrounds. Again, comes to diversity, from backgrounds, from different mentalities, from different perspectives. So I think diversity is such an amazing way to better this world and find opportunities for your own career. So if you're just in your own bubble, the magic doesn't happen there. So you have to take risks. So there is this saying, I got a birthday card from my friend last November, and it said, no risk, no magic. And I think this is the core for great leadership. So you have to take risks to get the magic.
You gotta pop that bubble.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I was going to end it by asking, like, if you had one piece of advice for leaders, Finnish and otherwise, what would it be? But I think no risk, no magic is a really good piece of advice. Or a mantra.
No, I have another one.
Okay, That's it. Okay.
Okay, I've had this hashtag for years. And it's why notism. So I think we need more of that why not. We need to say more why not to things. And what's behind there is that I'm sure everyone has had these like situations and these like thoughts, these like mini micro thoughts, saying like, yeah, what about this? Should you write a book? Should you go there? And then when the timing is right and you say why not to that thing, then it's already, you can translate it into action, and then it's movement. And when there is movement, something's changing and something's happening. So I think saying more why not is the way to go.
Yeah.
And listening to your intuition, not just to anything, but you will know, I'm sure you know what is really calling. It's like, there is something there. So just say why not to that.
Why not?
Why not? Perfect. Okay, Satu, thank you very much. This was passionate. I can see why you are so good at what you do. And I believe you're an immense force for good in this world. I believe you'll get your Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah. Not sure how to make that happen, but hey, why not? You know?
Thank you so much for a wonderful conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Satu.